Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome. I'm Dana Christensen, your host. And this is a 3-month wellness plan, creating your 3-month wellness plan weight management edition. So for those of you who don't know me, I've been a natural health advocate since 1994. And I have lots of initials, but none of them really matter. So I just know lots of stuff. I can't seem to ever find out everything I want to know. So I'm always learning something new. Anyway, my intention for this is to help you break down a big goal into bite-sized pieces. So a 3-month wellness plan is going to help you to work on a specific target area, like tonight we're talking about weight, and learn about some products that might be supportive to you for that, and how you can structure that 3 months so that you will make progress toward your goal. Are you going to lose 100 pounds in 3 months? No, probably not. If you do, you probably need to see a doctor. That's not okay. But are you going to make progress towards swing the pendulum the other way so that we're releasing instead of gaining? Yeah, I hope so. I hope you gain some information out of this time that we have together that will push the pendulum in the other direction. So I'm going to mute everybody. Be sure if you have a question to go in the chat box and just type it in. No problem there. Sure, here. All right. Okay. And if you have a question, just get my attention and I'll unmute so you can ask your question. All righty. So talking about Young Living products, that's my flagship company. That's the main thing that I do is Young Living. The products have changed my life. And that's not even the impact that Young Living's had on my life is just phenomenal. From my husband having a chronic pain condition for years and nobody knowing what to do for him to a week after starting Ningxia Red and it was gone. Like that first got my attention. And now I've just learned more and more about how to use these products and how they can be impactful. So hopefully I can help you too. So let's talk about weight, because when we're dealing with weight, a lot of it can be emotional. I think a lot of people eat out of stress. We don't schedule our meals. We just fit food in whenever it works for us. If we got other things to do, food can go on the back burner. But what we're basically subconsciously saying to ourselves is, your needs aren't important right now as my financial need to do this thing to get paid, or whatever it is that you're doing that you're putting ahead of your own health needs. So your body needs to be fed. It needs to be fed intentionally, like when you go through the drive-through and then you're just shoving food in your mouth while you're going down the interstate. Not really ideally, not going to work real good to help your body to build minerals and to build good health. Like, we know how bad fast food is, and it's not all terrible. There are some good options, but it's just the energy that we're taking that in as. Like, are you doing it intentionally, or are you really giving yourself the time to relax and to take some deep breaths before you eat? And are you intending for that food to do a specific thing in your body? Even if you have really, really terrible food and you take it with a intention, let's just say you're having a Big Mac and fries, but you pray before it, you set an intention for what that food's going to do for you, and you eat it, you take deep breaths and you relax while you're eating it, that's going to do a lot more for you than an organic salad that you eat on the fly as you're driving down the road or as you're multitasking. So that's not in my notes, so that must be important for somebody to hear. Because it just came to my mind. So some things that we want to ask is, am I in good health? Am I eating too many calories? Am I eating too much food that's void of nutrients, things that are not going to really give me any gas? Like, if you put water in your gas tank, you're not going to get very far in your car. So make sure that you're putting premium gasoline in your fuel tank when you're fueling up. And enzymes. The enzymes are going to help your body to break down what you're eating so it works for you, so you're not hungry all the time. We're hungry because we have a nutritional need that's not been met. And then we eat whatever we can find. And if that doesn't have the nutrients we needed in it because it was French fries, then we're going to still be hungry. Another thing that I have found, that I have quit eating gluten in November, and I mostly quit eating gluten during Christmas, but I won't say I didn't have any, because I did. But it's really changed me a lot. The gluten was causing thyroid problem. It was causing malabsorption and a lot of inflammation. And I'm a whole different person now. I have more brain clarity and more energy. So I'm really glad that I did that. All right. So protein. So when you're looking at your food, you want to make sure you're getting protein. You're going to use your protein to build muscle. And then you're going to have carbohydrates for energy. I don't think any of us have a lack of carbohydrates. So it's not like we really need to look at carbohydrates and say, oh, I need more of those. But undigested carbohydrates become undigested body fat. So again, we're looking at the enzymes. We want the enzymes like the Essentialzyme and the Essentialzyme 4. When we eat these with our food, they're catalysts that are going to go in and break that food down for us. I had a friend that actually would use a Detoxzyme, our other enzyme product, in a drain that was slow, and that Detoxzyme would go in that slow drain and break up the clog. So this product, if you have any problem with like reflux, as we get older, we don't have enough hydrochloric acid. So that's going to cause your food to sit in your stomach longer, and it's not going to digest as well. You're going to have undigested proteins and fats floating around in your bloodstream. And it has been found in studies that people with cancer have higher rates of undigested fats and proteins circulating in their system. So there's a lot of benefit to using Essentialzyme or Essentialzyme 4. This is the only one that Young Living has that has hydrochloric acid in it, which is what you need if you've had gallbladder challenges, or if you've had, I take this one because I have pancreas challenges, and this is always the one that comes up for me on my Zyto scans. So for me, this is the best one. I like it. Now the Essentialzyme 4 is more broad spectrum. It's going to break down more things. So Essentialzyme 4 is good too if you don't have a challenge with hydrochloric acid. Christina says Sulfurzyme is hard for me to choke down. Any tips? Get the powder. That's my number one tip, because I have to take lots of Sulfurzyme, and I use the powder form. You can open up the capsules and put them in a smoothie, something like that, but they're kind of big. Yeah, that's why they make the powder, because if you've got to take a lot of them, it can be a challenge. Some days I feel like all I do is pop pills all day instead of eating. So it's real important to be able to absorb what you break down. And that even when Young Living first came out with the Sleek kit, it was this sleek, it was a sleek whole kit, and it had a powder with it, the meal replacer, it had the pills with it, it had the tea, but it had Ningxia Red and Essentialzymes were a part, Essentialzyme 4, those were part of that weight loss thing, because you can't lose weight, release weight if you're not feeding your body well. So the Essentialzymes are very important. And okay, so another thing, here's a tip. Try this. If you're not hungry, don't eat unless you've been told that you must eat, if you've got a problem. But we have insulin in our body, and anytime we put food in our mouth, our body makes insulin. Insulin is a part of the digestive process, and it's going to help your body push that food into your system, and it's going to help the digestion. But insulin is also a sign to your body to store fat. If you have insulin, your body's in the fat storage mode. So the only time that you're out of the fat storage mode is when you don't have insulin. And when you have an insulin release, it's going to take hours for that to go away. So snacking in between meals is blood sugar. I mean, it's just an insulin storm, because you're going to constantly, every time you eat, more insulin, more insulin, more insulin. So if you are not hungry, don't eat. And if you are hungry, eat something that matters, a handful of nuts, if you're not allergic, something like that, a few peanuts, um, something that has some impact that will stay with you for a while. Another tip, if you're having trouble sleeping, is sometimes our blood sugar gets on this roller coaster because we eat carbohydrates for breakfast, hello waffles and pancakes. And then at 10 o'clock, our blood sugar crashes because we had a high insulin, a high sugar food. And then all day long, we're doing this thing and we go to bed and our body's like still doing this roller coaster. And you wake up in the middle of the night because your blood sugar tanks. So a really good thing to do is if you're waking up, 2 or 3 hours into sleep, 4 hours, is to take a little bit of protein before you go to sleep. I'm talking like a handful. Pistachios are awesome because they're going to digest slowly. They have good healthy fats in them and they help produce melatonin. So pistachios, like maybe 3 or 4 pistachios before you go to bed. That's enough to curb that blood sugar spike or crash if you have one, because that will wake you up. All right. So if you're not hungry, don't eat. This little snacking every 2 hour thing, eating small meals all day long is a terrible idea if you're trying to release weight. And don't eat your protein and your carbohydrates, heavy protein and heavy carbs at the same meal. So if you're having a steak and you're having a baked potato, that's a digestive nightmare. You're going to hate it. I had somebody told me the other day that he's like, I ate this meal and I didn't sleep. I said, you woke up sweating. He said, I woke up and I was hot. And I'm like, yeah, because your digestive system can't handle both types of food. So if you're going to have a steak, but have a salad with it. If you're going to have a big baked potato, have that baked potato, but have, green beans or asparagus with it and not steak. I know that's really hard for Americans to wrap their head around because we're a meat and potato society, but look where it's gotten us. So one meal can be carbs and then the next meal can be protein. But, you just don't want to combine heavy protein and heavy starch together. Regardless if you're having a carb meal or a protein meal, you may and should have all the greens that you want. And if you're having fruit with that, eat that fruit first. Eat dessert first is the right thing. If you're going to have fruit cocktail, you have that before you eat your other food because it only takes 15 minutes to digest fruit. But if you ate a steak and then at the end of your meal, you have fruit cocktail, that fruit is going to go in and screw up the digestion of your steak. And it's all ready to be digested and it can't be because you got a steak in there. So you eat that food first or eat a fresh banana before you eat your meal and you're going to get enzymes. You're going to get amylase out of that banana instead of having, fake enzymes from a bottle. You eat some fresh fruit first and you're going to get the enzyme benefit from that fruit because the banana will break itself down, right? When it's in a bowl too long, it turns brown and then turns into water. That's digesting itself. So when you put it in your body and it hits your stomach, it don't have to do anything. It just breaks down all on its own. So those kind of foods are going to be beneficial, but just eat them in the right order. And your digestion will be better and you'll end up not needing to eat as much because you'll be more content with what you are eating. All right. Chocolates, cakes, sweets, and breads are not advised if we're trying to lose weight, of course, but occasionally a piece of dark chocolate, and you can buy that made without sugar. I like the Lily's brand, Lily. Oh my gosh, they have the best chocolate bars, and they're made with natural sweeteners that aren't hard on your body. Oh, they use stevia, I think. They are yummy, and they got chocolate chips. So sometimes at bedtime, I'll get a few Lily's chocolate chips and a little scoop of peanut butter. Not gonna lie, I like it a lot. When you're talking about weight release, you must be emotionally prepared to release the weight. Why did we put the weight on in the first place? Fat represents fear. So continued fear causes a person to remain overweight and weakens them. It can also represent emotionally a lack of firmness in a person's life. What in your life is not stable? Sometimes we're trying to eliminate ourselves. We don't want to be noticed. I know somebody that had gained some weight, and it was after um, an attack on, they were attacked. And so they thought, well, I'm just going to not be attracted. They didn't think consciously, but subconsciously, their body was like, I'm going to protect you from getting attacked by a man by putting 30 pounds on your frame. And you're not going to be as attractive, and people won't, and you'll be heavier to handle. So another guy he was a heavy adult, but he was a scrawny kid, and other kids beat up on him. And he was like, I'm going to get big, and then nobody's going to be able to pick on me. So his subconscious was like, oh, it's painful for you to be small, so we're going to make you big. But it wasn't exactly what he meant. But that's what he said. When I get big, I won't have this problem anymore. So he's, an adult now, and he's trying to release weight, and he can't because his subconscious is protecting him from being a scrawny kid. He doesn't need that thought process anymore, but that's where it's at. Okay. And that's why I've learned how to do the hypnotherapy, because I can help people uncover, like, what are these things behind why we have these problems, and then help them to realize why this happened and how to overcome it. So it's really powerful. Fat can represent us being unable to be our real self. So we put on this other persona, this other suit, this other frame. If we can't get our needs met, if we are avoiding sexuality, we may put on weight. So really, like for this guy that was a scrawny kid and wanted to be big, he can diet all he wants and it's not going to help, right? He needs to emotionally get prepared for this. So don't beat yourself up if you've, went on a diet January 1st of every single year for the last 30 years and it hasn't done any good, because there's a lot to it. I released 50 pounds a couple years ago. And it's been 2.5 years, and it's, creeping back. I did stupid things this Christmas, like buy chips and dip for my company that never came, but yet the chips and dip disappeared. There's no gluten in potato chips, by the way. There's no gluten in French onion dip either. So I couldn't have the chocolate chip cookies, but I could have the chips and dip. And those big bags, I got the party size bag because, we're going to have a party, and my company didn't eat it. Well, I couldn't throw it away. Yeah, that's insane. So I'm getting ready to start my, I'm going to do another touch up on my weight program the end of January. Right now I'm doing a detox to prepare for it. I'm mentally preparing for it, getting this stuff out of my house that doesn't belong here. And I'm preparing my body to release the weight by doing a detox. So that's what I'm doing. So a positive permanent thinking replacement might be that you visualize the color yellow, because the color yellow is our solar plexus. So that's the area, I'll show you. That's the area between our breasts and right below our navel. Okay. That's the solar plexus energy area, and it's represented by the color yellow. And it's where all the digestion happens, right? And it's a lot of times where we pack on the pounds. Mine's on the backside. So I look in the mirror a lot of times and think I don't look too bad. Well, it's when I see these photographs of me from the back, because all of mine's hiding in the back, these love handles. So think of the color yellow and say, repeat, as the sun shines, so do I. I release the need to be perfect. I choose to switch on to the new and exciting experiences that life holds for me. So, and I can send you this handout. I did this handout a couple years ago, but I'll be glad to send it to anybody that wants it. I might update it for you. Yellow is everything digestive. So picture the color yellow coming out from your belly very brightly. Wear yellow clothes. Use yellow in a color lamp. You might even find they have yellow glasses that help bring in yellow light when you're out in the sun. Yellow is the cleansing and eliminating color. And yellow tones the system and relieves constipation, which is subconsciously holding on to the past and a fear of letting go, right? You're literally not letting go. Cellulite is stored up waste. You know, it's things that don't belong in your body, but they can't get out. And yellow, laughter is the best remedy, and yellow represents laughter. So, you know, there's a reason that McDonald's arches are yellow, because they know that's digestive and it's going to stimulate your hunger. Another thing is that Christina mentioned sulfurzyme a while ago. I will tell you that this is critical, because whenever we're releasing weight, everything that we release has to go through the liver. The liver has 2 phases of detoxification. The first phase I compare to cleaning your toilet bowl with a brush, okay? You're going to use antioxidants for that. Antioxidants are all of the oils, any of the essential oils, but Ningxia Red is going to be our best antioxidant. So phase 1, this is your scrubber, you're cleaning your toilet bowl. But is the toilet bowl still clean? Is it really clean? No, because all that junk that you scrubbed off is still in that water. So just because you have antioxidants just means that you're moving your toxins around somewhere else until they leave. The sulfurzyme is going to support phase 2 detoxification of your liver and allow you to flush the toilet. This is super important. And it'll tell you, like, the half a teaspoon is a dosage. You need a teaspoon. I use a heaping teaspoon, and I probably need to use more than that. If you buy a bottle of pills, it's going to tell you to take 2 twice a day. You need 4 twice a day. I'm not kidding. Like that, Gary made all these bottles to be a month's supply, even though that's not what it said. His intention was for you to use 300 capsules in a month. And I know people that take 1 or 2 a day. I'm like, what? That's like eating 1 green bean for supper. It's just not enough. So for phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification of the liver, you need these 2 things. Why does that matter? Because if the liver can't flush out your fat, you're not going to get rid of it. Some people have trouble losing weight because their livers are sluggish. I will tell you too that leafy greens are critical. If you're going to eliminate fat, leafy greens are going to sweep your liver clean. It's critical that you have leafy greens. Okay, very important. However you can stand to eat them, doesn't matter. You know, I like spinach in a smoothie. We do those. Bob does those every day. I don't, because it's too early in the morning for me to eat. I should probably have my spinach smoothie for supper. I put almond milk in it. I put a handful of spinach. I put a handful of strawberries, a handful of blueberries frozen. I put a banana or half a banana, and then either chia seeds or flax seeds. And then for him, I put his MindWise in there because that's a supplement he needs for his brain. So you could also throw your sulfurzyme in there and blend that up and drink it. That's a great meal. Okay. Lemons are yellow. So we're back talking about the solar plexus again. Lemons are yellow and they help you digest your food. So squeeze a lemon juice in your water and drink it, or put the lemon essential oil in your water and drink it. And do that just before eating, and that's going to help your food digest better. Lemon helps your body build hydrochloric acid. Did you know that? Yeah, so that our hydrochloric acid production slows down as we get older, and lemon is going to help us build that back up. So lemons are very important. Lemon essential oil is awesome, and you can take that by the capsules. I've already consumed 10 full capsules a day for 3 days in a row as a detox. So it won't hurt you. Take all you want. So that was a whole 15 ml bottle of lemon in 3 days. Okay, esteem. We talked about the emotional part a while ago. Self-esteem is a must to commit to any kind of program for your health. It doesn't matter if it's weight loss or if it's liver health or getting your cholesterol down. If you don't have the self-love and the self-esteem and fully love yourself, you won't be able to do whatever it takes to recover. Like, it's critical. So no matter what it is, we have to deal with this self-esteem. And I was inspired to make up a rollerball recipe for self-esteem. And it is, I'll tell you what it is. I use a 10 mil empty roller ball, like your standard roller ball size. And I use 4 drops of geranium, 3 drops of cedar wood, 1 ylang ylang, and 2 cardamom, and fill it with a carrier oil. Then you can use it behind the ears if you like the smell, on the belly, and if you don't like the smell, you can put it on your feet. If you hate the smell, carry it in your pocket and smell it periodically until you do like the smell, because you will eventually get to where you like it and that you can tolerate it. And geranium is one of our free oils this month, which is fun. But let me look up geranium and I'll tell you why I did that, because I don't remember why I put that in there. That was 2 years ago. Let's look. Geranium. Regenerating. Oh, it's for fatty liver. So that's going to help clear our liver out. So geranium, that's why I put that on there. Yeah. Hormone imbalances, another thing that can impede your ability to release weight is hormones. It's good for the circulation. It's good for menstrual problems, PMS. It helps release negative memories and eases nervous tension, balances the emotion, lifts the spirit, and fosters peace, well-being, and hope. So that's geranium. And if you have terrible periods where you bleed a lot, this will stop it. So if you're having periods that you can't stand, you got to get yourself some geranium. Okay. So that was my rollerball recipe. If you want it, I'll send it to you in this PDF. Some other oils that are good for the emotional part and self-esteem are bergamot. Bergamot, and that's included in Progessence Plus. So if you're using Progessence Plus, you got your bergamot there. It's for feelings of brightness and positivity. Cardamom is going to combat feelings of self-pity. Cedarwood is going to help controlling feelings of conceit and helps eliminate negative programming in the subconscious. So that's a fun one to put in the diffuser at bedtime. If you're wanting to work on somebody else in the room, and maybe you don't want them to know, maybe they got some negative programming and you'd like to make that some positive programming, diffuse cedarwood, and you'll be helping yourself and helping them. Coriander essential oil, that's going to help you find yourself. Coriander smells amazing to me. I love it. And then cypress. Cypress helps ground. Any of the tree oils are grounding, and cypress is a tree. And so it's also going to help with circulation. It's excellent to use with dry skin brushing. So is geranium. Any of these you could use with dry skin brushing, but you don't want to use a carrier oil because it'll make your skin wet. You can put it on your skin, but what I prefer to do is to put the drops of oil in my hand and then take my skin brush and rub my brush in my hand and then brush my skin while that little bit of oil is on the tips of the bristles. If you don't know about skin brushing, let me know. I need to do a video just on skin brushing because it is phenomenal. The impact of skin brushing for 5 minutes is worth, lymphatically, is worth running 5 miles. So if you want to cleanse your lymphatics, you can either run 5 miles or dry skin brush for 5 minutes before you get in the shower. Take your pick. All right. So let's ensure, Lee says bergamot is one of her favorites and she uses it daily. You're a smart girl. Me too, but I use it in Progessence Plus. All right. So ensure your metabolism is working and that you don't have any underlying conditions. I do Zyto scans. I used to do urine and saliva testing, which I might offer at some point. But we want to make sure your metabolism is working properly and that we don't have issues with adrenals. Remember last week I did an episode on stress and adrenals, and we really need to address the fact that if we have adrenal problems, then that's like having a watch, and you know how the watch has all those little cogs. If the middle one isn't working because it doesn't have the little spines on it, Nothing's going to move. Okay. So the adrenals to you are the center cog in your metabolism. And if they're not happy, it's like having a smooth cog. It's not going to run anything else. Everything else is just going to go haywire, and you're not going to know what time it is because your watch isn't going to work. So make sure that you go back if you have stress and you're trying to lose weight. You have to back up and go to the first 3-month wellness plan episode that I did, so you know what to do to support your adrenals, because that's got to come first. Remember, we got to prepare. I'm not going to throw you into a weight loss protocol and you're going to do it all and you're going to lose 10 pounds by next weekend. Not going to happen. We need to prepare. We're in this for the long haul. You know, we've been battling this off and on weight thing for a long time. Let's just get to the bottom of it. Let's take it seriously and treat ourselves well, and do what we need to do to make it work this time. All right. So gradually cut back on how much you eat. It's like going down a flight of stairs. You know, downstairs is where you're your ideal weight, but right now you're upstairs. Each thing you do is going to get you a little bit closer to that ideal weight. You're going down the stairs. So cut back on how much you eat, how often you eat, and eliminate that food that's void of nutrients. And eliminate give up eating while you're driving if you can. If you can stop, pull over and eat. Like, I know we have to eat in our cars now if we're not eating at home. And so that's an issue. But it's another thing whenever you're actually driving, because your adrenals think that you could die at any moment because you got a 50-mile-an-hour car coming right at you. Subconsciously, your body's like, ah, every time, even though you're okay with it because you're used to it. Your subconscious is not. So, all right. Add in making eating time a ritual to get out of the stress mode. So tell your body, you know, we're okay. We're going to take some deep breaths. We're going to say a prayer. We're going to energize our food, and we're going to put it in our mouth, and it's going to do this thing. And that's what it'll do for you. Your subconscious is so powerful. When you say, I'm going to eat this, you know, peanut butter sandwich, and it's going to go in, it's going to give me all this energy, and it's going to, you know, do all these things, and that's what it'll do. Okay. Get your food to digest properly. Using meal replacements can be a good option. They have the Sleek packets. Those are and I don't have one to show you, but they're meal replacements. They come in a packet. You just put it in some milk replacement or water. I would put it in a smoothie because honestly, it tastes like cardboard. It does its job. It's vegan. It's great for you. It's got great nutrients, and it will help you not be hungry, but it's not very much fun to eat. So I like to put it in a smoothie with a little bit of berries and some non-fat nut milk. I think that's a really good plan. The Balance Complete tastes yummy by itself. I just put it with water. It digests perfectly. Balance Complete is going to help your body to feed the good bacteria in your gut, which is also a big part of your digestion, a big part of your immune system. So Balance Complete's another good one. And then add in some supplements to boost your metabolism. And once you get your fire going, we're talking about your metabolism, ramping up your metabolism, make it hotter with things like Sleek tea and Sleek oil. So Sleek tea, oh my gosh, if you guys haven't tried this, it's the bomb. And you can do it hot or cold. If you do it hot and you don't want the caffeine, because it's got naturally occurring caffeine from the oolong, you want to boil your water and then cool it down for 3.5 minutes. It will be half the temperature and you'll get half the caffeine. The heat is what causes the caffeine to come out. So do that. Sometimes I just take a water bottle, a cold water bottle, and I'll throw a packet of tea in there and leave it in there for a while. Because, you know, if I'm going to drink it in the afternoon, I can throw it in there in the morning. In the afternoon, my tea is ready. And so I'll drink it cold like that. Sometimes I'll brew it hot and then pour it over ice cubes, and then that brings out the chocolate flavor in here. This tea will help get you through that sluggish afternoon feeling. It's amazing. It heats up your metabolism and helps you to not be so hungry. It's great for digestion. I love Sleek tea. And then the Sleek Essence oil. There are so many, there's Ocotea in there, and that's going to help get rid of the pathogens that might be in your digestive tract. And overgrowth of fungus, or if you have, critters. I talk about critters a lot, especially for people that come and get the foot baths. We talk about critters a lot. So Sleek Essence is great for that. You could just throw it in your water. I have somebody don't like the taste, so she puts it in a capsule and takes it, and it smells amazing. I guess you could put it on yourself too, but it has the ocotea, and it also has spearmint. It's so good. Oh, I wish you could smell. I wish I had smell-o-vision, because you would love that one. Okay. Black pepper and clove. We talked about the adrenals last week. Those two oils are going to help your adrenals. I also use nutmeg. So black pepper is also going to help with food addiction. So if there's a certain kind of food that you can't seem to get rid of, or cigarettes, black pepper is good for addictions of any kind. So use a little black pepper, just smell it, put it on your wrist, something like that, and it can help you get over that hump. You can also use it in a capsule. I also use black pepper in a capsule with abundance oil, clove, and the clary sage. And then that stopped my cravings for junk food. Sounds like I need to do it again. Miss French onion dip and Ruffles potato chips here. So yeah, abundance oil with black pepper, clove, and clary sage. All right. Another way to go down that stair step closer to being your ideal weight is crowd out bad foods with good foods. If you're doing a huge leafy green salad before your meal with spaghetti, you're not going to be able to eat as much spaghetti because you're full from the salad. So just start crowding out bad food with good food. Don't avoid fat, just eat healthy fats. Avocado is great unless you have a copper problem. If you have fibromyalgia, you probably don't want to eat avocados. I eat half avocado every day, just about. I'm kind of addicted to avocado toast with gluten-free bread and the little jelly on top. Oh my goodness. And avocados, we need those healthy fats to build our brain. We need the healthy fats to build our hormones. And I'm at the age where my hormones are tanking. So I'm doing everything I can to get them back. So avocado, walnuts, coconut oil, chia seeds, flax seeds. If you're estrogen dominant, you probably don't want the flax seeds. You've got to get into a deep sleep mode to release fat. I used a Fitbit for a long time, and now I got an Apple Watch and I don't have the sleep thing set up on it. But if you don't get into a deep sleep, you will not release the fat. Like, that's when all this stuff happens. So one thing that I've been doing lately to help me get into a deep sleep mode is to take 3 of the super vitamin D at bedtime. That I tried it, and then I tried not doing it, and I didn't get into deep sleep without it. And I'll tell you, I ran across an article that talked about these studies where this lady put this thing together, that she found that there are vitamin D receptors in the brainstem area, and that those receptors, the job of those receptors is to make the neurotransmitters responsible for sleep paralysis. So if you don't have the vitamin D in those receptors, your neurotransmitters are going to suffer, and you won't have what you need for your body to go into deep sleep. So you'll wake up at any little thing. And I can tell you, my brother, I won't say who it was, somebody was over here, and he said, I sleep terrible. And I said, well, you take vitamin D? He's like, I do. And I said, when do you take it? He said, in the morning. I said, you take it at bedtime. And so he didn't change how much vitamin D he took. He just changed when he took it. And he texted the next day, and he's like, slept like a baby. Took my vitamin D at bedtime, slept like a baby. I'm like, there you go. So I also supplement with this Biotics Research liquid vitamin D, because it's 2,000 units per drop. So I'll do this once or twice during the day, because right now COVID, I want to make sure I get plenty of vitamin D. And then I'll do the super vitamin D because of the lemon balm in there. That's got an antiviral properties. So I want my super vitamin D also, but I want to up my amount of vitamin D I get. So I use super vitamin D at bedtime, 3 of them. I put them in my mouth, let them dissolve while I'm drifting off to sleep. And oh, yeah, it is crazy cool, isn't it? Yeah, try it. If you have vitamin D on hand, the super vitamin D, try it tonight. What's it going to hurt? Yeah, it's awesome. So you have to get into that deep sleep if you want to release weight. All right. You may need progesterone to support your deep sleep too, and progesterone we get from Progessence Plus. I will probably talk about this in every single video that I do, unless we're talking about the prostate. So Progessence Plus, very important for me. My body needs it. My hormones, I'm 52, so my hormones are doing some really wonky things right now, and my hormones have given me osteoarthritis, which I'm not accepting as a gift, but the progesterone, like, so my knuckles will swell, and I put the progesterone right on this finger that swells up. I can't even wear my ring on there anymore. So I put the progesterone on there, and it takes the heat out of that arthritis, and my goodness, it feels so much better. All right. I need it for other reasons too, but if you're not sleeping really well, and if you have headaches often, really, I think every woman that has ever had a cycle needs to take some Progessence Plus. I don't know anybody that doesn't need it, right? It helps with your digestion. It helps with your fluid retention. If you're bloating, it's a benefit for that. If you have mood swings, it's a benefit. If you have lumpy breasts like I had, it got rid of my lumpy breasts. So I can do a whole talk just on that. Okay. Valerian, lavender, cedarwood, and petitgrain are all great tools for sleeping as well. And then vetiver, if your brain spins while you try to go to sleep and you can't turn it off, vetiver is going to be your best friend. So valerian, lavender, cedarwood, petitgrain, and then vetiver if you can't turn your brain off. Vetiver is what we support kids with that have like focus issues. Okay. Stress reduction. We talked about your toxic stress. You want to dry skin brush with some cypress. Cypress oil is a diuretic, so it's going to help your body flush out toxins that exist internally. It's also going to increase sweat and perspiration. So if you're having trouble in that area, you may not want to use cypress if you're having trouble with sweating and perspiring, but maybe do it at nighttime. So if you do sweat, you can at least clean your armpits off before you go out in public. And this allows the body to quickly remove toxins, excess salt, and water. And excess salt in our systems is a huge, huge problem. I know so many people with aneurysms and hernias and hemorrhoids and all kinds of problems with the vessels being weak, esophageal diverticula in the colon, like all that stuff is weak vessels, and it can be from having excess salts in our system. So you want to have more fiber, you want to take a good mineral supplement, you want to flush that out. So the cypress is good for that. Yeah, it can breathe, and it can also help prevent acne and other skin conditions that are due to having toxins build up in your system. If your lungs aren't clear and your kidney and your liver's not clear and your colon's not clear, your skin is going to be the next eliminating organ that you're going to get a reaction on. So a lot of people say, oh, well, so-and-so's got eczema and whatever. You got to be careful because you want to make sure that, where am I at here? Yeah, you want to make sure that something's not overloaded, because I always say, I can't tell you what's good for your eczema or psoriasis if I don't know what else is going on, because I guarantee there's something else going on. It can be emotional too. So cypress oil is going to be very helpful for that toxic buildup. It benefits and cleanses the liver, and it helps lower cholesterol levels naturally. A 2007 study in Cairo, Egypt, found that isolated compounds in cypress oil protect the liver. So more liver products are Juva anything that starts Juva, Juva. Citrus Fresh, Cellulite Magic Massage Oil, all great options for toxic stress. We already talked about Ninja Red and Sulfurzyme. Thyromin is going to help boost the thyroid, and the thyroid is going to help your metabolism heat up. And eating gluten can and most likely will break your thyroid down and cause it to not work properly. And I can attest to that. Frankincense on the neck. And one way you can tell if your thyroid's working or if it's challenged is if you have cracked heels. Cracking of the skin and the feet and hands, that's thyroid a lot of times. Another thing is being cold in your hands and feet, because your thyroid is what is controlling your body temperature. So since I quit eating gluten, I'm not cold. My hands and feet aren't cold anymore. Just so, I mean, it's really impressive. Frankincense on the neck will help detox the thyroid as well. And then grapefruit can be taken in capsules as a diuretic. That is awesome. And let's talk about these Citrus Slim. I forgot my supplement book I wanted to read to you from. Anyway, my husband has been having brain challenges, so I left it over by his chair so he could read about the mind, the brain supplements. But these Sleek Slim Citrus Slim, you got 2 powder capsules and then another packet that's a powder capsule and a liquid capsule. And the powder capsules have citrus fruit blend, cinnamon powder, bitter orange, fenugreek, ocotea, and enzymes, and 4 essential oils, including ocotea, cassia, peppermint, and fennel. All great for digestion. They're going to help you feel full also. And then the liquid cap is a pomegranate oil, lemongrass, lemon myrtle, Idaho balsam fir, and that helps deliver the citral and the punic acid. This is going to help. It's going to help you burn excess fat. This one, your lemongrass, that stuff is amazing. If you've got cholesterol issues, blood pressure issues, lemongrass, oh my gosh, it's the bomb. And it's so inexpensive. Well, it's in this capsule too. Going to help you burn excess fat. It's going to increase your antioxidant activity. Remember, we talked about that being part of phase 1 of the liver. Reduces your oxidative stress. Well, that's what antioxidants do. It's going to give you healthy energy and support your metabolism. So these are the bomb, and you take the powder capsules in the morning and this other packet in the afternoon before 3. If you forget the morning capsules, take them all at once as long as it's before 3. All right. Sometimes I just get up in the morning and open the whole thing and take it all so I'm done, because I can't remember all that. I can, but I'm busy. So I love Sleek Citrus Slim. I love the Sleek Tea, and I love the Sleek Essence Oil. And I think all 3 things are really great to support your goals. I wouldn't try to do this without Ningxia Red, because we need the liver to clear. So Ningxia Red and Sulfurzyme, I make the red drink with that, where you put 2 ounces of Ningxia Red and a teaspoon of Sulfurzyme and 3 drops of lime oil and a big thing of water and drink on it. That stuff helps me with my inflammation in my hands and feet. It helps with inflammation everywhere. So that's another good one. So have a 3-month plan, go through some of the things we talked about, and then put together a plan for the next 3 months. Okay, what am I going to order the first month? What am I going to add to it the second month? And what am I going to add to that the third month? Check and see where you're at. If somebody asked me directions on how to get to my house, what would I have to ask them first? What do I need to know from somebody to tell them how to get to my house? Where are you at? So I'm going to ask you right now, where are you at?
Where are you coming from?
Yes, that's so important. Like, we got to know, where are you at? Or I can't tell you how to get there. So I want to challenge you. If you're listening to these Monday night videos on the 3-month wellness plan, get a journal or get a cheap notebook. I don't care what it is, something that you're going to write in to keep track of where you're at. Okay, it's Monday, January 4th, 2021. This is my weight. This is how I feel. This is what time I go to bed. This is what I eat during the day. These are my challenges. And then what do you want to overcome? And then periodically, once a month, once a week, whatever. Okay, now this is my weight. This is what I did. This is what I started taking. And this is what's happened. This type of journaling can change your life. Okay. And especially if you start seeing a professional, if you come to me as on a, for functional diagnostic nutrition, I'm going to say, what is your diet? What are you eating? How are you sleeping? How is your exercise? Are you moving? Like, you guys, if you don't at least walk 20 or 30 minutes a day, weight loss is not going to happen. You can't just sit around. You got to move that lymph. Everything has to move because you're trying to get stuff off. And the more you move, the more you're going to help everything to process. And I'm going to ask you about your stress. I'm going to ask you about your supplements. So go ahead and write them down, okay? Because you're going to have to do that if you come and see somebody because you can't figure out on your own. So I'm trying to help you figure out your own stuff. And I'm happy to help you. Send me an email. Say, this is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. What do you think I should do first? And then, budget is a concern too, I'm sure. If we all had deep pockets, we'd just order $400 worth of stuff and just be done with it and feel great. But I know that that's not doable for everybody. So, I can help you prioritize what products to use based on how you're feeling. All right. So, again, look in your catalog or on the Young Living website, and they have it broke down for you. You want to get something that's targeted. You want to look at your supplements. You got cleansing nutrition. You've got targeted, and you have foundation. So get a foundational nutrition product, at least one that you're using that corresponds with what your goals are. Get a targeted product that helps you with a specific issue. Do you have thyroid issues? Do you need Thyromin? Are you having overall endocrine issues and stress? Do you need Endogize? Am I having low testosterone? Maybe I need Powergize. So look at that targeted nutrition, and then do some kind of oils and capsules. Like oils and capsules, they'll change your life. If you use the Vitality oils and capsules, and I will tell you, Vitality oils and regular oils are exactly the same. The label's different. So if this oil comes as a Vitality, and it does, geranium, it's okay to drop this in a capsule. Just because the label isn't white doesn't mean that it's not safe. It's exactly the same product. If you put them both out of the bottle, there's no difference. Okay. All right. I hope that was all helpful. And I'm going to open it up for questions. If you guys have any questions, unmute yourself and let me know. Lee also said that cedarwood shuts off her brain, which is great because cedarwood is one of the least expensive oils that we have. So Lisa, do you have something you want to share? I saw
yes. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Okay, so if I take already the Sulfurzyme and Super B, I take multigreens and Super Cow, I need to add that you had talked to me before about the essential zyme.
Mm-hmm. I would.
And that would be a good one for me.
Yeah.
And then the Super D at night, you said, because I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. That's a secret that not many people know. I just ran across that information. I was like, wow, that's crazy. Essential Zyme may be out of stock right now. So Essential Zymes 4 are fine. And you can't take too much of this stuff. And if you forget to take it when you eat, take 4 of them when you go to bed. Doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay.
Marcella Von Harding, one of my friends told me today that she said that they'll take a whole, like the Essential Zymes 4 comes in a sheet. They'll take the whole sheet full of enzymes and go to bed, like if they're sick. So 4 of these a day is great. Just pop them whenever you can.
Okay.
But don't get hung up on particular kind. If you can only get one kind, then just get the other ones. It's okay. They're good. They're all good.
Okay. Okay.
Yay. So excited. It helps me be accountable because, I can't sit here and suggest that people don't eat gluten if I'm eating gluten, right? I
Well, I
heard
didn't know that Ruffles potato chips did not have gluten.
they're just potatoes, so gluten comes from wheat. But
Well, I
McDonald's
know.
fries have,
That's Corey's favorite snack.
oh yeah, there's nothing good that can come from raw potato chips. But
Throw
so
those things out, girlfriend.
what's that?
Throw those things out, girlfriend.
Yeah, they're gone. They will no longer hurt anyone. I had heard a story yesterday. It was Gandhi, and this lady brought her child to Gandhi and said, Gandhi, tell my child to quit eating sugar. And he said, bring the child back in 30 days. And so she's like, well, whatever. So she comes back and makes the journey and comes back, and the Gandhi told the child not to eat sugar, and the child never ate sugar again. It was fine. And she's like, why didn't you tell him this 30 days ago when I was here? And he said, because I was still eating sugar. So I am accountable to you guys when I'm going to do one of these talks. I can't eat gluten. If I'm going to tell you how terrible it is for your thyroid, I can't possibly do that to myself. Like, that's not okay. So I appreciate you being on here with me and helping me stay accountable to be the healthiest version of Dana that I can be. Which gets,
Thank you for doing this.
you're welcome. Anybody else have any questions or no? Okay, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm going to put the recording in the group for you guys. I'm also keeping these recordings outside of Facebook in case we ever have anything happen to our lovely Facebook. We'll have other options. I can just post them somewhere else.
Mhm.
So feel free to invite your friends that are also interested, and you can share the recordings with them too. Joan Marie, you have a question or comment? You're muted though. Here, let me see if I can unmute you, because I can't hear you. You know how to unmute yourself?
Bottom left-hand corner.
Bottom left-hand corner, yeah. You see it?